MILF Manor is what the YouTube channel Soft White Underbelly did for homeless drug addicts, pimps, and whores, but for LA wine moms so strung out on a cocktail of Xanax, Botox, and Ozempic, they make the Kardashians look like Mormons.
Disco Mommy loves house music. And Disco Mommy, she's really spontaneous. She's just fun.
The television show, if you could even call it that, is what I had imagined hell to be like.
I am open to all ages. My dating app is set to 65.
I'm closed-minded, I guess. I don't want to date a 65 years old man.
I have never watched a TLC program before in its entirety, nor do I think I will again moving forward. If you'd like some examples of some of the top tier content they have on their channel, why don't we just take a look at some of the other programming one might find. You have television shows, award-winning dramatic pieces like 90 Day Fiancé, 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, 90 Day Fiancé Pillow Talk, 90 Day Diaries, 90 Day The Single Life. Awake surgery, which I could imagine is people being awake during surgery. Baby surgeons, which could either be babies performing surgery or surgery being performed on babies. Bad Hair Day, David and Annie after the 90 days. Dr. Pimple Popper, Extreme Sisters, which in comparison sounds like the least extreme thing in their lineup. I Am Jazz, I Am Shauna Ray, two women I assume are upstanding citizens. I Love a Mama's Boy, Little People, Big World. Lauren and Alexi after the 90 days, My 600-Pound Life. Followed up by 1,000-Pound Sisters. And if you couldn't get enough of their tub of guts, you also got 1,000-Pound Best Friends. Then you got programs like My Big Fat Fabulous Life. Spoilers, it is not. Then you have another show like My Feet Are Killing Me, probably another show about fat people. Return to Amish, Save My Skin. I could only assume that show is about horrible burn victims. Say Yes to the Dress, Say Yes to the Dress UK. And of course my favorite, Smothered, which I assume is a show about murdering your mother by suffocating them.
Something that most mothers don't get to do. I gave her life, so now I get to put it inside of her.
Who are these programs even for? I don't understand this audience. Were they created for retired mentally ill SoundCloud rapper or perhaps people with early onset dementia?
You're going 70 miles per hour. How long would it take you to drive 70 miles?
70, nigga?
Oh, why? Why 70? Explain to the camera why 70.
Because 1 times 70, 70.
Women have the worst taste in art. They are single-handedly keeping two industries alive, one being TLC reality shows, and the other being documentaries about getting murdered, both of which are not all that far apart. In all seriousness, I can understand wanting to watch a car crash. I get it. Sometimes I go on r/iBletch, which is... Actually, do not go there. I would not recommend it. Never mind. Listen, in all seriousness, I can understand wanting to watch the car crash, but here's my question. How large of a percentage of people watching TLC are just there for the chaos? Is it 30%? Is it 40%? Because it can't be 100%. Their base, I don't know for sure, but I am assuming that the base, their base people that they're selling to are people that are watching this show unironically or watching these programs unironically, that actually enjoy the content on this channel and are not there just to see people destroy themselves. And I wanted to see for myself what all the fuss was about. Where to start, you might ask? Well, I didn't want to start with one of the 90 spin-offs for 90 Day Fiancé. I mean, 30% of their channel is 90 Day Fiancé. It's out of control. No, I thought, why not start with their newest program, MILF Manor?
Because I am still a MILF. I am not a cougar until I reach a certain age. MILF is like that age between.
For those unfamiliar, MILF Manor is a weekly reality dating competition show where moms between the ages of 40 and 60, somewhere around that range, try to find love while also competing in competitions for some reason.
'Cause I am still a MILF. I am not a cougar until I reach a certain age. MILF is like that age between. For those unfamiliar, MILF Manor is a weekly reality dating competition show where moms between the ages of 40 and 60, somewhere around that range, try to find love while also competing in competitions for some reason.
Listen, I'm not a fan of reality TV. I don't watch reality shows at all, except for maybe like Drive to Survive. That's pretty sick. But that's like a real portrayal of like what's happening. That's closer to like a documentary style thing than like a reality show, because spoilers, I don't know if you all know this, but reality shows are scripted. For the most part, scenarios are either being done under the knowledge of the people in them or being forced upon them by the producers. So I would assume that them adding a competition element into this is some kind of contrived way for them to like force the different people within the house to interact. They didn't really make any of the rules or anything all that explicit in the show. They compete every week, and the winners get better rooms in the house for an undisclosed amount of time. Like, they don't really mention how much time passes in between episodes either, so.
Not all the rooms are the same. There are 2 large master suites with hot tubs inside the room.
That's crazy.
Oh my.
I don't think there's any like sort of prize. That was never really made self-evident either, so I think people might be getting voted off at some point. That also wasn't really explained whatsoever. But this isn't just a dating show for older women, no. This one has a twist to it because, like a vegan eating meat for the first time, once the cat's out of the bag, you cook it and eat it. Once the cat's out of the bag, why would you want to watch middle-aged Californian silicon cyborgs try to compete to find love? I mean, let's juxtapose that with other things on this network. Why watch that when you can watch people being awake during surgery? Or you could not feel bad for being 80 pounds overweight while you sit on your couch, eat a party pack of potato chips, of Doritos perhaps, while you watch 2 500-pound best friends slowly but surely kill each other with milkshakes.
I can't wait to be able to get my own place so that I can have serenity, peace, and be able to take care of myself.
No. Once you pass that line, a simple show about human beings setting realistic goals would just not suffice. So TLC, in their vast wisdom, tap their room full of diverse, hot, 19-year-old meth-addicted writers to come up with a little twist for the show. That twist is that the pool of men that these middle-aged women are going to have to pull from are their sons.
That's my mom right there.
Yes, you have that correct. All these 50-year-old moms will be dating the other 50-year-old moms' 20-year-old sons.
¿Qué es aquí?
Here, Dios mío de mi vida. Oh my God.
I just saw straight 2 possessed eyes and just stay there for a couple of seconds and say, what is this?
Folks, this is America right here. This is going to go down as like a national treasure. This show needs to be preserved in a museum somewhere. There was like 20 characters they had to introduce in this first episode, so the majority of it was kind of dedicated to that. So there really actually wasn't much substance here, but for whatever little subsistence that we did get, I could confidently say that it really creeped me out. I was undoubtedly quite uncomfortable watching this show. So like many before me, why don't we run through a couple of these moms pretty quick. We have April, who sounds like she smokes 1,000 cigarettes and is on Joe Rogan's testosterone replacement plan.
I don't think any of my sons realize that I have an extremely high libido. Hold on. Is that too much saying I have an extremely high libido? Should I just...
She had a raspier voice than I and more plastic surgery than a Barbie doll. You got Paula, however you pronounce it. I'm not Spanish, clearly. Who's probably like the cutest on the show. She has giant fake tits, so that's pretty sick.
I got my eye on one, though. That's about it. Who? Paula. Paula has these feet that I just want to like shove in my mouth.
Then there's So Young, which... it's like a 50-year-old Asian woman that looks like she's 30. She also acts like she's 30, which is like super off-putting.
I have to have those fire love to have sex. If I don't have that, I could have sex, but I can't kiss anybody because that's disgusting.
Obviously, she has to constantly make So Young jokes throughout the night, which literally got old after the first one. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and she seems like a sociopath. If there was one person I could select on this show to murder someone, it would be her, for sure. Then there's Charlene, who, man, I don't know why they let this chick on the show. the first thing she does in her little like on camera all by herself interview is she shows like this necklace she's wearing and she starts crying. She's like, oh, this is my infinity necklace. I got it to remember my daughter who died less than a year ago. She had a 27-year-old daughter who died like 6 months ago, and then now she's on this show trying to get her pussy banged out.
So it's not even been a year yet. Losing her was by far the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And I'm doing it. That's the thing. I'm doing it.
And she's just there bawling her eyes out. Like, it's so clear that she doesn't want to be here and she's just going through something right now. Like, listen, taking advantage of the other women on this show, that's one thing. But like this one, I actually just legitimately felt bad for her. She is clearly like not in the right frame of mind. The producers should be completely ashamed of themselves for even letting her on the show. They are exploiting her and nothing else. That is the only reason she's there. Again, I don't know if people can get voted out, but for her sake, I hope she gets voted out first. Then there's Kelly, another Botoxed up bimbo. She is another one that seems like a sociopath. She's just like super overly sexual. Like if she was in her 20s and hot, I think most people would tolerate her, but now she's like 50, so it's just annoying.
If Joey continues to cockblock me this entire time, he's going to ruin the experience for me.
But she is supposed to be the anime villain here, so watch out for her. And that's pretty much it for the women. There's more of them, but none of them really have any personalities yet. You didn't really get to spend enough time with them to like really have any like traits. So I guess we'll see more of that as we move forward, if I even watch more of this godforsaken show. Then there's the boys. They're basically just, I mean, they're essentially just a bunch of vapid 20-year-old hunks.
I like great things. I'm a very big feet person. Paula has these feet that I just want to like oil up and lather and just massage and get real warm and then paint her toenails.
Which I don't even really blame them for. They're all in their early 20s. Most people in their early 20s are douchebags. I mean, I was, that's for sure. I mean, they just got off default settings and started being allowed to tweak things themselves, so I can't really blame them for being indistinguishable. The show does genuinely have some moments that made me cringe, but there is very clear cracks in the foundation of this thing as well. Where things really do fall apart is when they introduce the boys, because the premise is that the women didn't know this was gonna happen, and then they introduced the boys, and then both the women and the boys are just terrible actors, so they're like, oh my god, I can't believe that you're here. Why are you standing in front of me? I thought there was gonna be different girls.
So, we're supposed to date the other moms?
And you're here. That's so weird.
Yeah.
That is so weird.
My mom right there.
We get our first challenge, our first competition in the first episode, which is basically how they're getting split up into rooms is that the moms and the sons are sleeping in the same room, separate beds. And so the competition, whoever wins the competition gets a bigger room for whatever the week, the night. It's really, they don't really disclose it. The competition is really gross, to be honest with you. It's basically the moms have to go one by one blindfolded and feel up all the shirtless boys and try and figure out which one is their son, it's honestly a Japanese porno that somebody showed me, that one of my friends told me about on XVideos. It was pretty uncomfortable to watch, especially So Young and what was the blonde girl, Kelly. Those two, I mean, just the way they were like feeling up all the boys. It was, I don't know. It's just like, do you have no self-respect? Like, listen, if the show was being pitched as, okay, we're older women and we just want to get some young dick, that would be one thing. But like, the show is being pitched as like, we're older women and we're looking for younger men to find love. And then here are like a bunch of people that are your son's age. And it's like there is no level that these women would have any, unless if they're like super immature or the guys were super mature, which is never going to happen. There's no level that they'd be able to connect on outside of the realm of physical. Like, what are they going to talk about? Unless if the woman is like real low IQ or has real low self-respect, none of these, there's no way a relationship is going to work like this. And you might want to flip that on me and say, well, what about all these older guys that date younger women? Yeah, they're there for the pussy, let's be honest. They're not there so they could check out all the cool TikTok trends that are currently going on. They don't care. Either end of that spectrum is equally criticizable in my opinion. But that's pretty much the first episode. Towards the end, Paula and So Young's son go on a date together. I mean, it was just superficial. I mean, like, again, they really had nothing to talk about. It was just really, it was silly to watch.
I prefer darker complexion with green eyes. Green, yeah, green is my favorite color. Oh yeah.
So that's MILF Manor. Let's see where things go from here. I don't know if I want to keep watching this thing. Leave a comment if you want me to keep watching it.
That's my mom right there.